Once there was a boy named Nico who believed that friendship could survive anything: hunger, heartbreak, even fear. He had only one close friend, Thomas, a boy who walked with him to school barefoot, laughed under mango trees, and shared everything except silence. Their bond was the only light in Nico's world after his father passed away, and his mother's tired hands stitched both their uniforms when Tomas's family couldn't afford new ones. One summer afternoon, they ventured deep into the village forest, searching for ripe berries and mischief, unaware that the day would tear something silent and sacred between them. As they laughed and chased each other under the canopy, a sudden growl shattered the stillness, low, heavy, and close. A massive bear stepped out from behind the trees, its dark eyes locking onto them. Tomas, gripped by fear, turned and scrambled up a tree without a word. Nico stood frozen, his heart a drum in his chest, eyes wide, not just from fear but from betrayal. He looked up at Tomas, who hid behind the leaves, too afraid to look down. Nico couldn't climb, his legs shook, and the ground beneath him felt like it might open up. But in that moment of panic, he remembered what his mother once said: "When you can't fight, don't pretend to be strong, be smart." Nico dropped to the ground and lay still, his breath shallow, playing dead with a courage he didn't know he had. The bear sniffed him, nudged his leg, then walked away. Minutes passed like hours. When Tomas climbed down, forcing a smile, he asked, "What did the bear whisper in your ear?" Nico stood slowly, wiped the dust from his face, and replied with a quiet that shook deeper than a scream. He said, "Never trust a friend who leaves you when fear comes close." Thomas laughed uneasily, but Nico didn't smile. Something had changed, not in words but in the space between them. Years later, Nico became a rescue officer, known for walking into danger when others ran. He saved lives during floods, Wurzwei, and earthquakes. One night, when a cyclone hit their village, Tomas's home was flooded, and his family was stranded. The phone lines were dead, the roads washed away, and the village prayed for help. Just before midnight, a jeep arrived. Nico stepped out, carrying Tomas's daughter in his arms, guiding the family to safety. Tomas fell to his knees, tears mixing with rain, and asked, "Why did you come back for us, after all I didn't do?" Nico looked at him, tired and drenched, and said, "Because real friends don't remember who ran, they remember who still needs saving." And with that, he turned toward the next village. Because sometimes the deepest wounds don't come from what a friend does to you, but from what they don't do when you need them the most. And sometimes the strongest hearts are the ones that choose to help anyway. Moral: a friend in need is a friend indeed. True friendship isn't measured by how loud someone cheers for you in easy times, but by who shows up when the world falls silent. The real ones don't run when fear comes close. They come closer. They don't keep score. They remember who still needs saving, even when the past holds silence and scars. That's the kind of friend worth being and worth holding on to. If this story touched your heart, don't let it end here. Subscribe for more stories that speak to your soul, about faith that doesn't break, love that forgives, and friendships that endure even when tested. Hit the bell so you never miss a moment that reminds you who you are, what you believe, and who's worth standing beside when life gets hard. Share this with someone who needs to remember what true friendship really means.